y'all. For some reason, YouTube still has the little circle spinning thing that says going live. Someone explain that to me. Someone explain to me why YouTube is doing that. It literally still says going live. Someone explain that to me. Hey, okay, well, the sound is happening. Ah. The video doesn't seem to be happening yet. This is fun. This is good. I like it a lot. You see me? Hey, okay. There we go. All right. All right. Well, I guess we're good. Literally, like, YouTube Studio has a little going live circle, and now I can kind of see myself, like, in the background behind that, sort of. I don't know, man. I don't know what the hell it's doing. Hello, hello. Welcome to Dame and Bow and Arrows and Leo. And Danny, hello, swatching and watching. Dame being tech support in chat. Hello, Ms. Hot Mess. Hey, Pinky. All messages meow meow meow. Hi, Sassy. YouTube is a bish. I agree. I look unamused because I don't know why YouTube is doing this. It's really being silly. Does Shroom Day equals psilocybin from Cleaned? No. Perfect timing. Just finished your last meeting. Hello, Cat. Hello, hello. Why are you giving me a warning? Oh, the bit rate is lower than recommended. Okay, well, that's fine. That's because I set it lower than recommended back when you were screwing everything up because OBS was a bitch. Inching toward halfway to monetized. We have miles to go before we sleep. Miles to go. I did have a Timony in the window, but I don't know where he went. He wandered off. Hopefully he'll come back. In the meantime, we get to enjoy, I don't know if it's construction noises or if they're just like taking down a tree or something down the street. I don't know. We got a big truck of some sort. I suspect they're taking down a tree. Mushrooms. We're gonna do mushrooms today. Not like that, okay? It's not that kind of channel. We're gonna paint some mushrooms on my nails, all right? All the shorts have done pretty well. I have not been looking at analytics. Overstimulating noises, yeah. You can't force a silly moment. It's got to just happen or not, unfortunately. Okay, I have a bunch of Taiki lacquers in my untrieds. And, okay, listen. The brand sent me some from the Apothecary collection and a couple from an upcoming collection as, like, gifted product. That's not these. But these ones, I think these ones might all have been ones that Alyssa sent, but I can't recall for sure. I would need to like go back and look at which ones I ordered and which ones Alyssa sent me. Which again, gifted but not by the brand. So I don't know. Like I don't think I have to disclose that it was a present from a person. But but I do have some actual gifted from the brand in my lineup, and so I want to try and get through some of the other ones before we get there. So so yeah, so I basically I swatched these out because I want to use at least one of them. We're definitely doing like some kind of mushroom theme today. I'm thinking kind of like a just like late summer, early autumn intro kind of. Let's do some cute mushrooms with some autumnal-ish colors. Katya, thank goodness you're here. Oh, I can relax. I was so worried. Sassy's unclenched because Katya arrived. So glad. I'm so glad. So your first job chat, now that Katya's here, is going to be to choose one or more of these to use as a background. And again, I don't really want to skittle all 5 of them, I think. Because I want to be able to have enough exposure so that I can count them off on my untried. And if I do a skittle and then I have like nail art covering most of the nail, it's really hard for me to tell what the polish looks like. So it'll be better for me to not skittle the whole thing. But I could do like 2, maybe alternate or something, or have like, 2 nails be like accent nails or something in a different tone or different polish. That would be reasonable for me. I think that the mushrooms themselves, any nail art that I do, I'm going to probably want to do in crumbs. So think about these in terms of background colors. The one exception to that might be if we did use the red on the end for accent nails. Those could maybe be like an abstracted kind of just the cap. Oh my God. Hang on, let me close my window. That's gonna really suck because it's a nice enough day that we have the doors open and windows open. But it's hot enough that without my window being open, it's going to get blazingly hot in here very quickly. It's currently 26.5 degrees Celsius with the window closed due to incredible amounts of noise. It's probably going to get up over 30 in here. Anyway, yeah, so the only way that I would want to use any of them as the mushroom itself, as anything other than the background, would be if I'm doing like the what are they called? The red ones with the white spots, those guys, as an accent nail. Then I would maybe do that, but it still ends up being the background, right? Like that's sort of the point, is that I want the background to be the magnetic and the art to be a creme. So let me go and look at what y'all have said. The red and green, brown, probably not the red and orange pink. Those should be in the shroom. What kind of mushrooms? Undecided. Greenish 2 without flakies. Make a bleeding shroom. I forgot the name. You did the forbidden thing of staying at work until 6 p.m. again. Oh no. Dame says 1 and 3. You only like foxes in my window? Oh, the noise. Yeah. Yeah. When it's foxes yelling out the window, that's fine. But that nonsense was unacceptable. Linry style mushrooms, absolutely not. They're not even long enough now. Mushrooms, we have been blessed. Background noise wasn't too bad on your end. It really depends on what you're using for a microphone or for headphones and stuff. But it was too loud for me. I can't hear that and do my nails and have conversations at the same time. It's impossible. Leo likes the middle one. 2 and 3 are your favorites for this. Yeah, that's actually why I was a couple minutes late to stream. It was partly because YouTube was doing something stupid, but it was also because I was looking at the announcement of Dolly Parton's death. Yep. Yeah. She was 80. It had to happen eventually, as much as we would have loved for her to live forever. Yeah. Should be a national news alert, yeah. Yeah, we all should have gotten like a little ping on our phones. Except I would hate that. But anyway, so I'm seeing a lot of 1, 2, and 3 as selections for background, which, all good choices. I think maybe 2 and 3 coordinate with each other better. So I think maybe I'll do that. Yeah, let's do 2 and 3. All right. I took away the wrong thing. So I guess we'll do 2. We'll do this one for the accent nails and this one for the rest of the nails. And I think the accent nails are going to be... which nails should I do as accent nails? Should I do like ring and pinky or ring and middle? Or middle and index? Or thumb and middle? Thumb and ring? Thumb and ring can be nice. We could do thumb and ring. I don't know. Katya, you didn't listen to instructions and don't deserve to get your answers questioned. You like one as the actual mushroom. None of these colors are going to be the actual mushroom. So indeed, you did not listen to instructions. What do we think? Which 2 nails should be the accent nails? I'm kind of leaning thumb and ring. Bow and Arrows is suggesting middle and ring. Leo says they always do thumb and ring. It's not that kind of stream, Dame. But if it was, this is the correct accent nails. Just saying. Leo, is that why you do thumb and ring? No. Terrible. Don't answer that question. We don't need to know. It's your own business. Okay. Dame only chose 1 nail instead of 2. So Dame thinks that only the middle should be an accent nail. Gotta get the funds for more cat cams? Yeah. Maybe not this way. We're not even at the stage of asking for specific mushrooms yet, Nudes. You're getting ahead of yourself. All right, I'm just gonna go ahead and make an executive decision and do middle and ring because y'all are not cooperating. Okay, so that's these two. I'm gonna put these ones back. And I'm gonna do this one as the accent. And I think do I want to bead these? I think I might want to bead these. I think I'm gonna bead them both. Just beat them. Now that song's gonna be in my head. Everybody excited to watch some janky gelato tub bead stuff? Don't, Cat, whatever you do, don't pull the bit where I did the two in the pink, one in the stink for the shorts, okay? It's not that kind of channel. You have a free pass on not responding because you're working and lurking. That's okay. You're allowed. You're allowed. All right. Let's get our first code on here. What contraption is this? Oh, some of you have not seen my contraption. All right. Here we go. Y'all know about the bead style magnetics. There's a bunch of different tools on the market for it. But a lot of people were doing DIYs before people started building tools. And I do have a couple of other tools. One of them is extremely noisy, but looks like a sex toy, which is kind of fun. Okay. So I have the sex toy one. This stream keeps going there today. I don't know what's going on with that. But this is the sex toy one that Ray designed, which does a great job, but it's just kind of noisy for stream, and it annoys me for that reason. I can't listen to that during stream. So that's the one that Ray built and designed. And then I have one from a brand that did some fairly shitty stuff, and so I'm not going to be using or showing that one. And then I have the snazzy contraption, which is actually quite good, and I could use that. It's not quite as strong as I really like for glass bead. It doesn't give the style of glass bead that I most appreciate, because there's like, you know how sometimes you see a glass bead thing and it's all like super tight in the middle, and other times you see it and it's like a ring that's very clean, but it almost seems to be hollow in the center, but it's not. But it's like sort of tight looking, but not in the weird miniature way that the other super concentrated one is. For me, my favorite way for a bead mani to look is the way that I've only found a horseshoe magnet can do. And so, at least so far, I think that actually Ray's contraption does as good a job as the horseshoe does. It's just too noisy for me. This, I think if it had more magnets, like, it just needs to be more powerful. It's just not strong enough for me personally. I really like the action though, and I like that it's like a little quieter and easy to use. But anyway, those are the ones that I have, but what I prefer to use is actually this thing that I made myself. So what this is it's literally a gelato tub. And I've got some little sponges to elevate my nail. and it's a long bolt that goes through a horseshoe magnet that has a hole in the center. It was one that already came with a hole in the center. So I got a super long bolt and just like a mad assortment of various and sundry washers and nuts that we had in the basement. And we got this little cotter pin here. And so this is my this is my extremely ridiculous bead setup. And so I do this, and it spins the horseshoe, and my finger lives in here while that's happening, and it's great. It works really well. Yes, it's a 30-pound pole magnet. Yes, in a Talenti jar. What's suggestive? Oh, the sex toy one. Yeah. Sorry, just catching up on chat here, and so I'm a little behind. We got to get sexy themed clips from this stream. It's going to drill that glass bead into your nail? Yeah, really. Bum, 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 bum. You should have sent me your prototype earlier. You have a prototype? Snazzy also has made a noisy phallic spinner too, and now there is a motor for the Snazzy mag. There's another like little motorized one that I've seen as well. The problem with the motorized ones for me personally is that I don't have enough outlets for everything that I need plugged in as it is for a stream. Hi, Sinna. Oh, no, there she goes. So yeah, having one just for a spinner is not, it's not going to work for me. It's got to be manual. Magia Magnetic. Yeah. That, it looks like it does a really nice job. It looks like a great contraption. But yeah, I can't see myself having a good way to plug in yet another tool here. I just can't. Oh, it's battery operated. Oh. Does it recharge? Or do you just replace the batteries? You have the mini motorized one. It's battery powered. Okay. All right. Maybe I'll take a closer look at those then. The part of the problem too is that like the idea of spending more money on yet another contraption that ultimately I probably won't use because I have this and this works better than everything else is like, you know, like unless I had something else that will use a 30-pound magnet, I don't see myself wanting to spend money on another thing. Yeah, I only use rechargeable batteries as well. But I was sort of wondering if it needed to be plugged in to charge or if you replace the batteries to charge. So it will accept rechargeable batteries. So that answers my question. Yeah, rechargeable batteries are the only reasonable thing to do. So you like this one and you have the parts to make one. That's the other thing is that like I already have this one. Right? Like the only disadvantage to it really is it's not like super comfortable to use. Oh, are you okay? Oh, okay. Gotcha. Yeah. You see chatted that the battery operated one is constantly sold out anyway. Yeah, the Magia one. You got the micro bead robot simply because you can't feasibly do it yourself by hand. Yeah, I totally understand that. I think the I think the motorized ones are fantastic. I absolutely don't think it's a waste for anybody who will, have a use for it. I know myself, and unless it works as well or better than this one, I'm simply not going to use it. And it has to be basically silent, or at least, quieter than this or the same. Yeah, Robot is very good for accessibility. I agree, 100%. You're a frugal bitch and you've hesitated to pay so much for one on Etsy. Yeah, I agree. You got one earlier by asking nicely and they sent you a form in your email. That's cool. Your crank is a little tedious to use. Aren't all cranks a little tedious to use? The thumb is sort of the most annoying one to do here because, like, on stream, normally when I'm doing the thumb, I'll actually just have it hanging off the side of the desk. But I wanted it to be in view for y'all. There she is. Okay, first one, and then we'll do the other accent. You have a prototype. You asked me on Instagram earlier this month, but it has been a while. Oh, did you? Yaneli, I forget 99% of everything. If it's not about bugs, it leaves my brain. But now that you mention it, I do, do recall having a conversation with you. You don't use magnets enough to be investing in more magnet tools? Yeah. So you traded for a sex toy one with Ray. The sex toy one is fun. And it does work very, very well. The only reason I don't use it is because it's noisy. The camera really hates this. I'll tell you that. That's why you only send me bugs. Yeah. Bugs I remember. I always remember bugs. You always want to spin very fast, but you think you get a better result when you go fairly slow. Yeah, I feel like you definitely don't need to go fast to get a nice result. Like, this is a fairly moderate speed. I think I'm probably something in the ballpark of 1 to 1.5 or 1.5 to 2 revolutions per second. It's definitely a little faster than 1 per second. But yeah, it's like, I don't know. I feel like that's plenty. You truly don't need to be doing anything crazy. The people that were using like drills and such for a while there, I don't know about those folks. All right, so that's the first coat on the 2 accent nails. I almost feel like it could just stay with 1 coat. But I am going to do a second coat because I'm always happier with a second coat. And I can see at certain angles, I can see a little bit of sheerness in the base. But the magnetic is so powerful that it's like, it's not as noticeable. The child is maybe jumping up onto the thing. The ottoman. Oh, he's doing a little pawing. We might have a cat cam. Hang on. No guarantees that he'll stay, but... All right. Hopefully he'll settle himself in. The magnet experimenting was such a fun time on Reddit. The last polish you're swatching today is a magnetic, and you will finally try the glass bead. Excellent. Excellent. Timony, he's such a good boy. No, Leo, he's my boy. He is not your boy. Every time Brittany from BCB sends me a photo of her dog Willow, I yell, "My baby!" She's mine. She's my puppy. I don't even like dogs, but I love that puppy. All right, let's get back to nails. Yes, you're a very good boy, Timony. All right. So, switching to the other one. I didn't even say the names of the polishes that I'm using here, did I? The first one, well, I guess I gotta wait until I've magnetized this. Hang on. Hang on, I'll let you know in a second. Hello, Laqueer. Welcome. Ray, hello. We were just talking about your sex toy. Timothy's doing his runway pose. He's such a good boy. Gotta imagine you're doing the Zelda sound clip when you're saying "my boy." I actually, you know what I hear is the one from the Harry Potter movie when what's his face dies during the Wizarding Cup thing. Terrible streamer, how dare I not promote everything I'm using always and constantly? Yeah. Yeah, I'm a bad streamer. Not trying to sell you shit. Cedric, yeah, Cedric Diggory, there we go. His dad has that scene. He says, "That's my boy." You love my contraption for the 30-pounder, taking notes. Yes, it is a really good system if you want something that is cheap or free. I did have to purchase the bolt for the center because I needed it to be long enough. I didn't have a bolt long enough that was also narrow enough to go through the hole on the 30-pound horseshoe. And I bought the cotter pin. Everything else was stuff that was just spare hardware I had kicking around. Okay, so the two accent nail ones are Be My Companion from the Brat Prince collection from Taiki. And the other that we're using on the rest is the Chroma is Flowing from the Clair Obscur Expeditioners collection. Also from Taiki. These, I think, either I bought them or they may have been a gift from Elissa, but not from the brand. I don't think either one of these is the one. So I have a confusing situation with the Taiki stuff, and I'm going to have to actually... This is the one time where I'm going to have to actually write stuff down, because generally speaking, I just know what I purchased and what I didn't, and if I need to double check, I can check my orders. But Leo gave me two from Taiki, and Elissa gave me a bunch from Taiki. And then I bought a few from Taiki, and then Taiki gifted me some. So I have like 4 different situations, and I can only look up one of them in my email. So I'm going to have to actually write down for once where I got the polishes from so that I can appropriately do my disclosures. These ones were definitely not ones that were gifted by the brand, the 2 that I'm using today. I am not breaking into those ones until I have finished with my current swatching requirements, because I have a lot on my plate right now. Brat Prince, do I know the reference off the top of my head? Was that a Vampire Lestat collection, I think? Maybe? Kat just put a bunch of sound clips of people going, "My boy," over Timony being cute. A pic of your senior baby on your lap in the server. I might have to show that. You missed the chroma is flowing. You didn't realize she was discontinuing it. Sharpie them on the bottle. Yeah, I might just label them on the bottom. You want to try the brand, but you're waiting for the right color combo that you don't have yet to make a purchase. Yeah. So far, I tell you what, I've been very impressed with their magnetics. They perform beautifully, great colors. I'm very impressed. Really nice formulas, and like she manages to get excellent opacity without it ever getting sludgy. At least so far, all the ones I've tried. So yeah, I've been very happy with all of them so far. I had a little, I don't know if that's, I think that's, I have a little patch on my nail there that kind of got like, I don't know if I scraped it or what, but it's got like a little bit of slightly shedding nail surface. You want to try the brand, but you're waiting for an inspo that you care about personally. I don't typically, I'm not usually like a fandom purchaser. It's pretty rare for me. Like sometimes a name will, you know, sort of put my choice over the edge if I'm like debating about a color. The name can help, but that's not usually because of a reference. It's usually because of a funny, like a good pun or something. Like BKL has gotten me a bunch of times that way. Yeah, she definitely uses multiple different magnetic pigments together. You're a huge fandom merch hoe, yeah. I'm not a fan of things. Like I don't there's something inherent to fandom that there are lots of things that I enjoy, right? Like I really enjoy, you know, Star Wars. I really enjoy Star Trek. I really enjoy, you know, like just tons of stuff I really enjoy. But I would never qualify myself as a fan of those things per se. Certainly have never been a fan of a real life human being so much. There's like, so here's the problem. Maybe this is just my brain doing stupid neurodivergent things, but fan comes from fanatic. And I don't feel that strongly about stuff. like bugs. Okay, sure. I would say I'm a fan of bugs. I own lots of bug merch. I love bugs so much. I obsess about learning about them. I want to know everything about them. I follow them around with a camera. I am a fan of bugs. I am a fanatic about bugs. But like people, media has never, famous people, like this just has never touched me in that way. And so I kind of compare everything to that. And if it doesn't reach that threshold of fanaticism, then I can't call myself a fan. And so you held out buying from Taiki until they made an Apothecary Diaries collection. Yeah. Yeah, you still need to like the specific thing, but then if it's also fandom, then yeah. Yeah, I'm just not. It's just not really so much a thing for me. Like to be clear, I don't think it's a problem if other people are into that. It's just not how my brain works. It's not, like there's no judgment here. It's just not how my brain works. All right. Although there's a band called Rainbow Kitten Surprise, and I love their names so much, and I also like their music, and I feel like I would own Rainbow Kitten Surprise merch, partly because they're called Rainbow Kitten Surprise, but also because I like their music. What do you want to pronounce as Tish? Oh, Taiki. Yeah, no, don't call it Tish. That's terrible. That's horrible. You're buffering? I'm sorry, Dame. I can't tell anything about what's going on in the back end because mine still says going live. Hello, Color Story Nils. Welcome. You keep wanting to call it Taiche? Y'all need to learn some A, astronomy, and B, mythology. Is it Roman mythology that has Taiki? I think it's Roman. Isn't Tish a performing arts school? All right. What was I going to do? Oh, yeah, I was going to check on cat stuff because apparently Cat put a cat in Discord. We have a Lap Senior baby covering Cat in his fur. Let me just get that. There's Cat and her senior baby. You know how it's pronounced, but when your eyeballs see it, your brain says Tish. I cannot relate. You keep wanting to pronounce it Tyke without the E sound at the end. How do you all pronounce Psyche? Tyke rhyming with Psyche. Like, are you calling it psych when it's Psyche? Because those are different.
They wear Nike tennis shoes?
Well, they probably do wear Nike tennis shoes, but that's also spelt differently, so it's kind of irrelevant. Of course, Taiki is an anglicized version. Yeah, psych doesn't have an E on the end, and it's a short form. You only knew how to say it because of me. I swear. Y'all. The American education system failing you all. Katya, I don't know what your excuse is. Not an English speaker. I guess that's fair. I saw that Leo posted something here as well. Oh, he's just got okay. All right. You don't relate Taiki to Psyche in your head. Okay. You call Psyche pish. Okay. Okay, Katya. I believe you. Are they still doing noisy shit outside? Can you tell? I had to close my window and it's getting real hot in here. maybe I'll do a test open. Whoops. There we go. I don't know, I feel like I hear a low rumble, but I'm not sure what it is. It's not at the level that it was, that's for sure.
Is that a compressor or something?
Yeah, it sounds like it. I don't know if they're doing like...
They're not doing the jackhammer now.
Is that what it was? Was that a jackhammer?
I think that's what it sounded like, yeah.
Hmm.
Gotta be tearing up some pavement or something.
I thought maybe it was one of the tree crews, but I can't see anything, so... All right, second coat here. I'm going to pull this off to the side, actually, to do this one, because I know it means you can't really see anything, but how much could you really see anyway, right? It's a lot more comfortable for me to do it this way. You're Canadian, but you have dyslexia and never learned phonetics because of it. But didn't you take, like, a mythology class in high school? Isn't that, like, a thing still? We did that in high school. We did Greek and Roman mythology. As a kid, you spent years thinking obvious and oblivious were the same word, just used sarcastically. That's so good. I love that. Yeah, your name ends in a silent E, but it's also from a different root. A thing that you have to understand about me is that I love words. I love words so much. I love words, I love language, and I love breaking down what words are in English, like where stuff comes from and understanding the etymology of things. That's like a kind of a little... I don't know. I mean, it's not at the level of bugs, but it's something I really enjoy, and I always have. And so for me, like, there's the part of my brain that is like, yeah, people, don't necessarily care, don't necessarily have the background, don't necessarily have the interest. Maybe dyslexic, maybe from a different, culture that doesn't have anything to do with these things, that doesn't study these things. There's a big, like, most of my brain is like, yeah, like, it is not reasonable to expect everyone to know this. But then there's the part of my brain that's like, what do you mean you don't know this thing? Which is the same part of my brain that goes, what do you mean you think all wasps are like yellow jackets? It's just, I can't help it. It's just the part of my brain that can't fathom people's brains not working the way my brain works. Which I think is normal. I think most people have a part of their brain that does that. And I think it's okay as long as you also have the part of your brain that goes, no, actually, dumbass, it's true that other people's brains can work differently than yours. And, so you shouldn't expect them to know the exact same things you know. And it's actually good that they know other things that you don't know, you fucking dumbass. So, yeah. You didn't do Greek or Roman, you did Aztec and Mayan. Psyche came up in philosophy, yeah, it would. You did ancient Greek and Roman history and mythology in elementary school, but not in English, right? I'm guessing. Nerd, yeah. Definitely a nerd. You did mythology, but you were already into it, so the teacher let you skip class because he wouldn't let anyone else answer things. So you only learned words from reading, not hearing. Interesting. Taiki never came up in mythology. They mostly did the most popular ones. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. English, I think, is so fun for that exact reason. Like, we have taken, and by we, of course, I mean my people, historically, have taken so much from every fucking language that we have encountered. And, you know, the Brits encountered an awful lot of people, or the people that became the Brits encountered an awful lot of people. And, you know, we just took whatever bits of language we liked and tacked them on to our own thing. So we, you know, we have a million different words for stuff that all mean the same thing, but in different languages. But then we were like, but what if we used one of them for when we're talking about the animal and one of them for when we're talking about its meat, i.e., cows and beef, right? We got those two words from two different languages and they both mean the same thing. But we just decided to apply them to different use cases. So English is wild for that. And I really enjoy that, and it's okay if other people don't. They made you read the Odyssey and that was it? Man, that's lame. I don't like that. I wish that people got to read more of this kind of stuff. And like were taught it in a more reasonable way. You know, it's really easy to make kids hate learning and to make them hate reading and to make them hate mythology and to make them hate history. I know because they made me hate history. And, you know, I partway got over it, but yeah, it's, and, you know, I don't think necessarily everyone has to love it and be super into it, but I think it would be better if we taught things in a way that at least helped people appreciate them more. All right. What's the second code of that one? What's the story of Taiki? I don't fucking remember. Be my companion. Dude, I haven't read about Taiki in like 30, 40, probably 40 years. I mostly remember it as a planet now. Or is it technically a planet? Babe?
What would that be?
Taiki? Or no, it's a moon, right?
It's an asteroid.
Is it just a big ass asteroid? Psh, see, my astronomy knowledge is terrible too. You thought you didn't like it until you had a great teacher, a great history and government teacher. Yeah, see, that's the thing, is that a single teacher can make such a huge difference in how you appreciate a given subject. You took sociology and archaeology classes in college and wanted to major in it. This is inducing flashbacks to my history of the English language class and having to translate and analyze Beowulf. Ugh. Ugh. Ugh.
Actually, Taiki is a proposed planet.
A proposed planet. Okay.
Somebody thought existed, but it cannot exist in the form that they claim. It's been ruled out.
Wait, is this the one that's Planet 9? Also been called Planet 9?
This was before.
This was before Planet 9. Okay, Taiki was a proposed planet that isn't actually real or physically possible. So there you go.
It was supposed to be a gas giant.
It was supposed to be a gas giant.
Outer solar system, more close.
Interesting. Well, there you go. You can get me to care about literally anything if you're passionate about it. Exactly, Leo. Exactly. I am also this way. Beowulf was boring? Yeah, I agree. I agree. 80% of school is boring, especially when the teachers aren't paid enough to be fun. Oh, yeah, that's true. There is also the Taiki crater. That's true. Yeah, it's been used for lots of stuff because it's from mythology. But let me actually look up the myth. Hang on. Taiki.
There's an asteroid too.
Oh, there's also an asteroid called Taiki? Well, there you go. She was the presiding tutelary deity who governed the fortune and prosperity of a city and governed its destiny. She's the daughter of the Titans Tethys and Oceanus, brings positive messages to people relating to external events outside their control. Well, there you go.
cats like Taiki's Roman counterpart better.
The cats like Taiki's Roman counterpart better.
Fortuna.
Fortuna. Fortuna. The cats like Fortuna better. Oh, Tycho is the crater. Right. Yes. That rings a bell. You hated Oliver Twist? Ah, see, Oliver Twist was actually delightful. If you can get past just so many problematic issues. Listen, it's also way too long. Like, it's way too many words. It does not need to be that long. But it's also kind of delightful. I do actually really like Oliver Twist. Or I did when I read it a million years ago. At least with Oliver, you can just watch the musical or something. That's true. The musical is better. Almost every modern iteration of Oliver Twist is better than reading the book because the book is too goddamn long. But like, you know, that's back when, I mean, he was being paid by the word, right? Breaking it up into a bunch of little serials. So all his fucking books are too long. You hate main characters that don't have agency. Yeah, that's fair. Sometimes we don't have agency, though, you know? Sometimes that's just how life be. You hate musicals? It's the busting out in song all the time? Fair. You don't remember if you read Oliver Twist, your brain is just full of cobwebs? I really feel that. I don't remember what... Wait, no, I'm lying. I do remember what show we're watching right now because it's so stupid. I almost never... So Brian and I will like sit down most nights and watch an episode of whatever show we're watching at the time. And then play some Mario Kart World. But normally, if you ask me what show we're watching at any given time, I don't remember. And when I sit down to watch that show with Brian, it's always a surprise to me when the show comes up, and I'm like, "Oh, that's right, we're watching this show." But currently, we're watching La Brea, and I think the only reason I remember that is because it is so very dumb. It is incredibly silly. It's a ridiculous show with a ridiculous premise. The acting is mediocre at best. I'm enjoying the hell out of it. It's so funny. Why do we spend so much time talking about the sewer system in Les Mis? We don't need to do all that. Listen. The sewer system is a whole character in Les Mis. And I think that's beautiful. Yeah, that's what I was saying. They at that point, most authors were, or at least most sort of like authors of that caliber, were serializing their stories and getting paid, literally paid by the word, for their stories. And so they would have a little episode in every newspaper that came out. And so the stories just fucking go on and on and on forever. Your memory dumps the movies you watch the next day. You can never remember them unless it was spectacular. Violet, and you are binging Glee right now. It's not good, but you're so excited to yell at the TV every night for bad rating. Yeah, there's something kind of joyous about that. Your unpopular opinion is that you enjoyed Moby Dick. I have to confess, that's one of the very few books I've never been able to finish. And I've tried multiple times. To read Moby Dick. And I just, I can't get through it. It's just like, it's one thing if I will allow myself sometimes if a part in a story gets like a little bit too draggy, I might kind of skim it. Like if you're just giving me a fucking listicle, then like I'm gonna skim that and assume it's not that important. But with Moby Dick, that's the entire fucking book. Like there's like you have to basically I would be skimming 90% of the text with Moby Dick. It's just so fucking dragging. You have a friend who's obsessed with Moby Dick? Glee was terrible, but also funny. You couldn't finish reading a lot of books, but the one that shocks people most is Lord of the Rings. I understand that. I have read the Lord of the Rings series and the Silmarillion on multiple occasions. The Silmarillion I think I only read twice. The Hobbit I've definitely read at least 3 times. But the trilogy, the Lord of the Rings trilogy, I've read at least 4 or 5 times, and then of course watched all the movies a bunch of times. And I love that, but I have a fondness for that particular kind of very verbose world building, and like really over the top descriptions. Please tell me way too much about the woods. Tell me entirely too much about the texture of the bark on the trees. I am here for it. I'm here for it. I love that shit. So for me, I love those books, but I really get why people have a hard time with them. The only part of the Lord of the Rings books that I kind of struggled with ever was the songs. And there are a lot of songs. Tolkien really liked to write a song. And they don't do it for me. I don't like them. I skip them basically. But in the movies, I'm like, oh God, do we have to do this? Oh, Dune and Foundation. So that was an interesting one for me because I was a precocious reader. I started reading. I was like 2 when my sister started teaching me to read. And so by the time I hit kindergarten, I was reading at like a grade 2 kind of level. And I kept going from there. And I was, escalating as I went along. By the time I got into like grade 7, I was reading my mom's psych textbooks and reading all kinds of very adult stuff. But my uncle was reading Dune, and I asked if I could borrow it because, I was really into science fiction at the time. I say at the time as though that hasn't been a lifelong thing for me. I'm still really into science fiction. It is my favorite genre. Yeah, so he was reading it, and I was like, this seems like something that I might enjoy. Can I borrow it when you're done? And he was like, absolutely not. It's not appropriate for your age and reading level, and you won't enjoy it. You won't appreciate it. And I was so fucking insulted. This man barely knew me. He was my stepfather's brother-in-law. This man barely knew me. His kids, were much younger, nowhere near my age. And he had no basis to know what my reading level was or, what kinds of stuff I was reading. And And so he basically was like, no, you can't read this. And I understand that some kids would have gone, fuck you, I'm going to read it on my own. But I'm not that kid. I take my rebellious rage and I basically 360 it. So I instead of going fuck you, I'm going to read the book, I went fuck you, I don't need that book. So I didn't read it. I never read it. And to this day, I have not read the full series. I have seen the movies, but I have not read the full series. And so it's like, it's wildly stupid. It's wildly stupid. And it doesn't even matter whether he was correct or not. It was the absolute dismissiveness of his answer that did it. I was just like, I can't believe. And I never, he had been, until that moment, my favorite uncle. He was dead to me after that. That was it for him. It was over. I was like, fuck you, Bill. You can't tell Peggy something like that. She will kill you. Yeah. You didn't get into Little House, but you read Little Women in the Secret Garden multiple times over as a kid. Anything that sounds like it's for girls is something that I would basically refuse to read, with the solitary exception of the Anne of Green Gables series, which I read mostly because my aunt gifted me the entire series, and it's like 1,000,000 fucking books. And if there is a book, or at least when I was a kid, if there was a book and I had access to it, it would get read. So if you gave me a book, I was going to read the book. That was just all there was to it. So, she gave me 1,000,000 fucking Anne of Green Gables books, and so I read 1,000,000 fucking Anne of Green Gables books. There's a saw. There's a saw outside. Please enjoy a sleepy cat. I'm closing the window again. As soon as I got to the window, the saw stopped. Oh, there it goes again. All right. Yeah, that's a concrete. They're cutting concrete out there. You've never read or watched Dune anything? You guess you did that with the Hobbits? No Harry Potter or Hobbits because everyone demanded I read them. Oh, that's another thing. Yeah, I get that one as well. If everyone demands I read it, I'm not gonna read it. And if everyone demands that I watch The Thing, I'm not gonna watch The Thing. And it doesn't even matter if I wanted to watch The Thing. It's a thing. Yanela, you're a math person. I was good at math until I got to a certain stage, and then suddenly managed to convince myself I was bad at math, even though all the evidence pointed the opposite direction. And now I actually am bad at math. All right. Bum 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 bum. Oh, there's a bum 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 for you. Okay. I think we need to do... I'm debating whether I just want to do a seal glaze and then move on to art. I'm going to be happier if I do an actual polish or an actual top coat, though, aren't I? I feel like I'm going to be happier with it if I do an actual top coat. So we're going to do an actual top coat. You told your coworker you have an alarm clock to make you do math to make sure you're awake. That's hilarious. You were ESL until 2nd grade, but by 4th grade you were reading at an 8th grade level. Yeah, the ADHD overwhelm is definitely a thing that kicked in for me, I think, around the same time that I was dealing with some teenage hormone shit, and also processing some trauma shit, and also getting to that age where girls are getting the girl messaging extra. And so I think all of that conspired to convince me that I was bad at math. Oh yeah, that makes sense. That you leaned into math more because you were going to American schools and didn't have proficiency in English yet. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, not being able to focus enough to learn it because you can't, because it doesn't interest you, is so real. I'm like, no. At one point in time, I tried so hard to teach myself symbolic logic from a book, just because I thought it would be good for me. And I was right. I mean, it was good for me. And there's some stuff that I have retained from that that I think is quite valuable. But the process for it was perhaps the most illuminating part of it, because I was, even with fairly simple symbolic logic stuff, like, I mean, it was all, everything I was doing was fairly simple. It was all like first year kind of philosophy, like the hardcore logic based philosophy stuff kind of level, right? But like first year. So, you know, really just the basics, which is the basis of math in general and computer science and everything, right? Can't do any of that shit without a solid grounding in symbolic logic. But you can't even do philosophy without a solid grounding in symbolic logic. So, yeah, it turns out that I had this like really physical sensation, a weirdly physical sensation of needing to grab my brain in my hands and point it, and like I wanted to be able to grab it and shove it onto the table to get it closer to the book so that I could really force it to focus. And it was such a weirdly physical sensation that I have only experienced when I've been trying to really learn concepts in math and logic. And I've not experienced it anywhere else in my life. And it's wildly unpleasant and really frustrating, but but also fascinating. Realistically, at this point, you probably haven't retained more than middle school level math, but you come across people who can't even use a calculator properly. Yeah, you're fine. I love doing Sudoku. I do Sudoku all the time. Sudoku is not math, though. Sudoku is just a pattern recognition. It's just puzzles. The teacher's humiliating you because you couldn't memorize the times table. I couldn't. Yeah, I have such strong memories of my kitchen table with the times table up on a poster that we made above the kitchen table, just trying to like force it into my brain, like grabbing handfuls of numbers and forcing them into my brain. And I couldn't do it. I could never do it. There's a few that stuck because I don't know, my brain likes those numbers a bit more. But yeah, I fucking sobbed. I spent years crying over math. But like, you know, geometry, give me a geometry problem that's visual and I'm like, oh, it's this. Long before I was supposed to know about negative space, I was like, oh, you just have to subtract out the negative space. It's easy. That's an easy problem. You find the area of the negative space, subtract it. You got it. You're not supposed to be able to do that in grade 4, apparently. But that was an easy concept. But the multiplication table? Fuck no, I don't know any of it. You hate fractions so much? Yeah. Your dad made you a laminated chart and your teachers wouldn't let you use it? Yeah. I did not do trig until I went to university. And there I was going into first year calculus at university as a 30-something-year-old, having not done any math beyond making change at a register for, 16 years. I had to reteach myself. I had to teach myself the basics before, like, that summer before I could go in. And, like, I remember having to basically deduce how to add fractions together when they had different denominators by thinking about money. So I know how money works. You took calculus, but you didn't like it. You prefer... Yeah, algebra is, like, almost intuitive for me. Algebra is, like, if it weren't for all the numbers in algebra, that would be a very intuitive thing for me. I love algebra. It's great. There's a lot of really cool shit in algebra. But yeah, the only math I ended up doing in all of my university career was that one required calculus class, and then stats. You're good at memorizing stuff? Oh, I can't. Nope. No, I've never been able to to just memorize, unless it's like, if my brain decides, oh, I like this shiny fact, it's going to remember the shiny facts, but it won't remember anything that it's not already, super excited about. This is like... So yeah, I can memorize all kinds of Latin names for bugs, no problem. But I don't remember shit outside of that. Okay. That was my middle nail, right? Yeah. I promise we're going to get to the mushrooms eventually. It's already been an hour and 20 minutes and we don't have any mushrooms yet. You like sorting things, which is kind of what algebra is. Yeah, it kind of is. You're not wrong. You had the art department and library to go to instead of math class? Exactly. The library was my home away from home. You suck at memorizing, but you were really good at bio because it didn't feel like memorizing to memorize the MAP kinase pathway. Oish. Orgo hard, biochem easy? Are you serious? Orgo was easy. Biochem, no. But Orgo was easy for me mostly because I didn't treat it as a memorization thing. You enjoyed biology, but you hated physics so much? I managed to avoid taking a single physics class. My last physics class was in grade 10. I took one physics class in high school. My single required physics class. And then I managed to avoid taking any in university, despite doing a science degree. Oh my god, neuro is awful, Ray. Awful. Fucking neuroscience is the worst. Physics is a lot of math, but it's stupid math. I took at one point in time I thought I might want to do environmental chemistry, because it's a subject area I'm very interested in, like just environment and ecology stuff. But I took a single the third year. I think it was a third year class, as I recall, environmental chemistry course, and my inability to make my brain do math properly in a timely manner completely fucked me. So I understood all the concepts. I had no problem whatsoever with the concepts, and I had many conversations with the prof, talking about how things break down and where they break down, and like that's the only reason he gave me a pity pass in the class, because I was incapable of answering any of the questions correctly on the exams, but I was able to write out all of the logic. Like, this will break down in this way and it will go here, and this component will break down into this and go here, and this component will break down into this and persist in waterways and yada yada yada. I had no problem. So I would just write down everything, but I couldn't do the math part and put numbers to it. And so he was like, if you promise not to go into environmental chemistry, I'm going to give you a pass. Oh my God. Abstract chemistry crap that they're telling you has a structure, but why it works is some invisible magic you can't see. See, that's a result of how they teach it. Organic chemistry in particular, they're always like, oh yeah, this molecule wants to do this. No, it fucking doesn't. What are you talking about? They're molecules. They don't want to do anything. They're bouncing around doing everything they can all the time. What are the things that are actually possible? Okay, that'll narrow it down. These things are physically possible to happen to this molecule when it bumps into this molecule in a variety of different ways. Some of those things require a lot more energy than others. So, what's going to happen mostly is the things that require the least energy. That's it. That's all of organic chemistry. That's all of it. You don't need to know anything else. That's the entire thing. Everything is energetic soup. And you just gotta know what can do what. And none of that is memorization, and none of that is magic. And they teach it like memorizing magic. And it's so fucking annoying to me. Enzymes don't want to do things. They don't want anything. They're enzymes. You always thought of chemistry as attract or repel. I mean, that's part of it. Yeah, memorizing a bunch of shit is not good if you don't have a brain that likes to memorize things. Okay, we finally have our base done. That's exciting. Can we just take a moment to appreciate these two polishes? I love them. I love them. They're so pretty. All right. Let's paint some mushrooms. What do you think? Somebody asked for an inky whatever milk cap, a milky ink cap, an inky milk cap. What are those fucking mushrooms called? Ink cap. thought there was a different name for it. They're just calling them inky caps. I thought there was like a something ink cap. Shaggy ink cap is edible. Okay, so there's a bunch of different ink caps. The shaggy ink cap is the most well known, apparently. There's a fairy ink cap. Pixie parasol mushroom. I don't know what species that is. Space grosses me out. What do you mean objects slow themselves down when they reach the speed of light and that time warps and we're just things on spheres in nothingness? I think Brian just went into the bedroom for unrelated reasons, but let's see. So let's look for inky cap mushroom. Get some images. Try to get images that are real. Man, these things look nasty. Oh, I think it's time. Hang on. It is time. It is time. All right, it's gonna happen. It's happening. Uh-oh. Oh no.
Ready?
Okay. Yes. You good. He's always really bad at eating the first one.
Well,
You dropped it. What the hell, man? What are you doing? You dumbass. What's going on? You're taking them, but you're not eating
do
them?
you not like this flavor? You ate it last night.
I don't know what this fucking cat is doing. He's got 3 treats, and he's finally just eating the first one. Katja is more excited about Brian time, but everybody else is very excited about Timony treats time. Good
better.
boy.
You're doing better now. Good boy.
He's been accused of being a treats hoarder. I was saving those. Such a good boy.
That's it.
Delicious.
That's all till later.
You married a math person so he could do the math for you? Okay, so my first husband was a math guy, and Brian is a physics guy, which is just another way of saying a math guy but with space tendencies. He obviously hasn't had to deal with other cats stealing his treats. Yeah, so Cinna doesn't like treats. She doesn't understand. And Jammy and Budgie are separated from him by a gate at treats time, which is the only reason that he has not had his treats stolen, because Jammy will 100% steal your treats. He's decided he needs to wander off and clean himself. All right. Back to the nails. So we're going to start with Inky Cap. So let's grab a stock image that doesn't look too fake. It's getting hard these days, you know? It's getting hard these days. But this appears to be a real photo. So let's go ahead and grab this. Bum, 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 bum. Let's open a new tab. You're far too large, my little friend. Let's do this. I do not require you to be this big. Okay. All right, we're gonna start with these guys. You're not sure you understand how Cinna not like treats? Yeah, it's weird, right? I don't understand how she doesn't like treats. You're very excited for shrooms and love the academia talk. I hope that you're enjoying lurking and it's making work slightly less obnoxious. So I don't know what Cinna's deal is. She's weirdly not food motivated. And it's extremely weird because she was theoretically feral. She certainly was skinny when she moved in with us. Definitely not being taken care of. So I don't know. She doesn't have any of the typical food focused behaviors that you often see from strays. But yeah, she's funny about which foods she's interested in. She loves kibble. She likes to have a little bit of wet food. She's not like super into it. She'll kind of, she'll have a little bit. She mostly likes the gravy. And then she'll leave the rest and Timony will eat it. So, yeah, I don't know. She's a weirdo. So I'm starting with just a white base for these, and then we'll layer stuff over top. But I feel like everything's going to work better if I just lay it all out in white before we get too far into doing any detail. Try and get some good shapes here. I should play Smushy. It's a mushroom game. Okay. If you say so. What kind of a mushroom game is it? What platform is it on? What do you do? Tell me literally anything else about this game that I should supposedly play. I'm gonna need more than it's a mushroom game. Mushrooms are cool, but I don't know shit about them. Former street thug cats love kibble more than babies raised from very young. Interesting. I mean, Jammy and Budgie just are obsessed with all food. They're like, especially Jammy. She's like, she will eat anything with great gusto. Oh, the child seems to have gone up onto the window again. You figured I could look it up later? It's cute that you think I'm going to remember for 3 minutes. You just spent all this time talking about how my memory sucks. Can you recommend using a layer of pandemonium for this nail? You can recommend it, but I'm not going to. I'm not going to because it won't allow me the kind of control that I want for this kind of nail art. I 99.9% of the time am going to choose a creme if I want anything like realistic nail art, which is most of the time what I want. I think it's a clever idea, but it doesn't give me enough control for my personal preferences. Are you invisible? No, I just haven't read everything. You're still waiting for Peggy to play Valheim with you? I don't know what Valheim is. I don't see where you said what it's about. I see where you said, how have I not started the nail art yet? Before anybody asks, yeah, I have all messages turned on. I see shroomies. That's not useful information. Smushy come home. Steam. Okay, it's on Steam. I don't see any other information. You played it on Steam and available on Nintendo Switch. Okay. You play as a little mushroom guy trying to find their way home by solving puzzles, exploring different types of shrooms in a somewhat open world. Interesting. I don't see it, Pinky. I don't know. I don't know. I don't see anything where you're telling me what it's about. But I have Yaneli's thing, so I don't know what's going on with chat. If it's just not showing me stuff. You posted it on Discord? I can't read Discord while I'm streaming. I'm never going to look at Discord while I'm streaming unless someone specifically tells me to go look at Discord. And then I will go look at Discord. But it's like buried underneath my windows. So I can't really see it. Okay, so get the pure black parts underneath. And then we're going to have to mix some dark grays. Although, I guess I could use a Crelly. I do have a Crelly that's like quite dark gray. It might be nice to mix in with this. Well, I don't know that you're super bad at explaining, Pinky. I think I must be missing a message from you on YouTube, because literally the only things I see from you are the single word Steam and yelling smushies, but not actually saying what it is. So we talked about Valheim a while back when we talked about playing a laid back game where you do things and explore and there's no real need to do anything you don't want to do. I think I ended up playing that other game that I think might have also been a suggestion from you, Ray. That was like an open world-ish kind of adventure-y kind of game. That was it was like an online multiplayer, but you didn't necessarily have to deal with other people. I cannot at all remember the name of it now. But I was playing that for a while. That was nice. That was a good one. But Now I only have room in my heart for Pocopia. I have all messages set. I already said that it's not my settings. I have it set to all messages. I think that it must just have somehow dropped a message from Pinky. I don't know why. Yeah, I don't remember what that was either. I wish that I remembered what that was. I would have to actually go look, which I'm not going to do during stream, but yeah, time zones definitely do not help with that. But like there's so many Europeans that are playing Pocopia. So I'm sure you could find people that are more local. I think I need my smaller brush for this. I just don't do those kinds of cozy games. I don't really do the social thing with them. I feel like, I don't know. That's my gaming time is escape from social, but also, you know, sort of my own creative yada yada chill thing. Like with Animal Crossing, the only person I ever really played with on Animal Crossing was Brian. And that was like our date night thing during the COVID shutdowns. Wish I could remember what the hell that game was called. Oh, Palia. The game was called Palia. That's the one I was playing. And I would go there and talk to absolutely nobody. I was surrounded by strangers at all times, and I had basically zero conversations. The only thing that I ever interacted with anyone about was there were certain things that you needed multiple people for. And so literally you would just get on the group chat, and just like give map coordinates and a short form message that says what the thing is that's at those map coordinates, and then a bunch of people would just converge there, and that was literally all the conversation I was having. Did not want more than that. Because I find with games like that, for me at least, it becomes a different kind of game if I'm playing with other people and socializing. It's like it's no longer the game, it's something else. I like multiplayer games where I can shoot people. That's about the only purpose I have for other people in games is shooting people. Okay. Come on. Trying to sort of get a sense of the texture here. It's not easy to do on something at this scale. It probably would have been a lot easier if I'd like just done smaller or a one bigger mushroom rather. But no, I really wanted to have a collection of them because apparently I hate myself. All right. I basically only play handheld, except when we're racing in Mario Kart, and that's Brian's Switch gets docked, and we play on his. But for all my games, I'm always just playing handheld, and I don't know why I don't just like I don't really have a reason. There's no good reason why I can't just dock and play on the TV, but I never do. It feels like too much work somehow, even though the dock is all like it's just there, it's hooked up. But for some reason it feels like too much. I'm gonna add some like a little bit of droopy drooliness, but I don't want to do too much. Okay. I think I actually want to also maybe bring this stem all the way down to the bottom. There we go. Kind of nice being able to play wherever. Yeah. Definitely. You've never played a game on anything but the TV or PC? Yeah, the Switch, the Switch 1, I think was my first ever handheld gaming platform. I like the ink caps. Who's got a suggestion for another kind of mushroom to do? Speak or forever hold your pieces. Somebody suggested some kind of fairy thing. Is that a common name for an actual kind of mushroom, or was that just a loose concept? Morel? Oh yeah, those are good. Those have a nice texture. Alright, hang on. Get you the lad here. There we go. Let's have a moment of Timony admiration before we get going on the next one. Toadstool, Morel, the one that looks like a hamburger bun. Pixie parasol, it's a real type. Okay. Cyathus striatus, hen of the woods. Ah, yeah. Pixie parasol are blue? Okay, wait. I simply must immediately look this up. Pixie parasol mushroom. Mycena interrupta. They're cute. Oh, y'all. They're cute. I like this one. This is adorable. Oh, and they're tiny. Okay. Open image in new tab. I'm doing this one next. I'm doing this one next because this is so freaking cute. Look at this thing. Look at how cute that is. That is either a mosquito or a gnat on top of it. That looks like a mosquito on top of it. Although, could be a gnat. No, I think that's a gnat. Anyway. Or a midge, rather. Not a gnat, a midge. That's what I'm thinking of. Ugh, brains. Brains are so good. The pixie one is cute, but unsure if AI. Hidnellum pecii. Let me look that up. Oh, I did a bad job. Oh, those guys, yeah. Those are not going to look nice, though. They're very cool, but they're not going to look nice on blue pink gill. What was Cyathus striatus? Oh, yeah, those are bird's nest. Is that what those ones are called? Yeah, bird's nest fungus. Very interesting little fungus for sure. Oh, you didn't suggest the pixie one because it looked like AI? Yeah, no, they're real. I'm sure that there are lots of AI photos of them, but it's a real thing. Blue pink gill. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that also is another one that looks like it looks pretend, but yeah, those they really do exist. Rosy vein cap. Could do one of these. I don't know about doing two blue ones. Oh, yeah, that's disgusting. I like this. That's nasty. That is a nasty little creature. I'm a fan. All right. Trying to find one that's like a good photo that's definitely not AI. And some of these look highly suspect. This one should be good though. Let's open that in new tab. That's a nice one. Ew, I like it. Equal parts art and education, yeah. Oh, Heather, I didn't know. I didn't know that you were Heather. I know you as Color Story Nails, and I know you as Heather, and I did not know that those were the same. All right, Ray, I only have so many spots. Come on. Parrot wax cap. Let me see. Stop making such good suggestions. Oh. Oh, that's freaking cool. We're definitely doing one of these. We're definitely doing one of these. I like this fucking weirdo. This is a good weirdo. Oh, they nasty. I love them. Okay, let's open that image in new tab. Okay, and then we need a moral. And that's going to be all of them. Why are there baseball players? Is there a baseball player? Yeah, named Moral. Okay. We don't care about the baseball player. We care about the mushrooms, please. All right. Trying to find a good source. We can probably use that one. All right. Which one's you as a mushroom, Leo? The brain one? You feel like you just received a small lesson in mushroom? Yeah. Okay. So I need to grab a blue and I'm gonna need a green as well. I think this one, maybe shady navy. Ah, shit. I'll pick that up in a second. Hang on, sorry. Or actually, I wonder if rolling in the deep would be a good choice. Is that too desaturated? I don't know. I'm gonna grab both. And then I'm gonna need a green. Which color is the green one? Yeah, this should be a good green tone to use. That one I am gonna need, well, no, I've got, well, no. I'll grab, what do I want? Do I want guava? Guava's a little bright, but will probably be good for the darker sections of it. All right. And then the moral, I need brown. Okay. All right, let's get this. There we go. You got your cat back. Oh yeah, that makes sense, Leo. That makes sense that the green is you. Is that the one you want as a lamprey, the green one? I think I want to do the blue on this nail. Well, would it be better to do the green on that nail since it's going to be... I should do the green on that nail since the other ones have a green background. Yeah. Okay. So I'll do the blue. I could actually the blue on the thumb and the green on the ring. And then the other two can be the moral and the pinky one. All right. Blue on the thumb. Yeah, I'm feeling shady navy for this, but let's once again start with the white background. And I kind of like the idea of having it grow slightly out of the side. Although, yeah, it looks like some of them can grow with a bit of a curve. So I think I want to do like the ground is kind of here-ish more. So they're like growing up out of this side. All right, so we'll go like that. We are going to have to do some ribbing in there. That's going to be the underside of that one. Make sure these mushrooms are ribbed for her pleasure. Very important. Ray is just on a whole adventure with the mushrooms now. I think so. Part of it for me, Ray, part of how I'm choosing is by the website that they're from. Some of them are just a little more reliable than others. So I'm factoring that into my choice of which ones to pull. And I think, you know, if it's like Pinterest or fabulousmushrooms.com or something like that, I'm not likely to trust it very much. Do I want more than 3? I might just do the 3. But yeah, if it's from like an actual informational site, Flickr is often a really good source, actually, because a lot of nature photographers use Flickr. You have a 2-player board game called Morels. It's about collecting and cooking mushrooms. Interesting. Is there an element of danger? Are there false morals in it? Oh, I should go to the smaller brush for this. All right. So get the blue in here. Somebody mentioned that Don't You Put It in Your Mouth PSA song. And it's been running through my head ever since. And I feel strongly that whoever put that in my head needs to be punished for that violation of my brain. It's real bad. It's real bad, y'all. Definitely going to need to add more white back in here, but that's okay. You look for a mushroom that looks lopsided. The night cards do have poisonous mushrooms. You're now picturing a crossover Morals with Oregon Trail. That was you, Dame? Of course it was you. I should have known. I should have known it was you. You monster. It's truly awful. Don't you put it in your mouth. It's just fucking like, nobody needs that in their head. Nobody needs that in their head. I am unfortunately extremely vulnerable to brain hacking attacks. It's really bad. I'm too easy to program. All right. Oh, that's too white. It lives rent free in your head too. Well, I don't think that's a good excuse for tormenting me with it, but I understand needing to share your pain. All right, let's get some of that shadow under there. Yes, I did a very bad job with it, but that's okay. And now you're getting too dark. All right. Kind of gotta work back and forth here. Whenever I'm working on something this small, I always end up having to go back and forth over areas because I absolutely end up overcorrecting and fucking up 1,000 times before I finally get there. All right. Get that. This part isn't actually super blue on the actual mushrooms, but it has a hint of blue and it's a little bit translucent-ish, and I feel like that's good enough for me to just run with it. I'm gonna put this one in front of that one. Yeah, I like that better in front. And then, ooh, you're getting stringy. Okay. Can always tell when I'm starting to get tired. I'm like trying to just focus and get it done. And it's so hard to do. Ooh, a little too much there. Trying to get like a little bit of highlight because they have like a little bit of gloss on them, but they're not like super shiny the way some are. Oop, that was too much. Okay. If you stop responding, it's because you fell asleep. You're so ready for your after work nap. The cats only let me sleep for like 3 hours last night, which wouldn't be so bad if I hadn't only had 2 or 3 hours the last, or I guess 4 hours the night before last. But yeah, it's been like basically between 2 and 4 hours of sleep a night for the last several nights, which is not my favorite. I don't love that. I'd like to have less of that and more of sleeping. But, you know, like the man says, you can't always get what you want. I don't really think that I'm getting what I need, though, either. So I don't know if that's like me not trying. The song would suggest that it's my fault for not trying, but I do feel like that might be a bit victim blamey. They, yeah. So I just don't. I don't fall asleep well. Once I am asleep, I'm pretty good at staying asleep, but I don't fall asleep well. So if I fall asleep and nobody wakes me up, I can sleep for 12 hours, no problem. But if I fall asleep and it's just a few hours away from all cats breakfast time, and Brian has fallen asleep on the sofa and doesn't wake them up, or they don't wake him up rather, to doesn't wake up to get them their breakfast, then it falls upon me to get them their breakfast. Now there are 4 cats in the house. 2 of them are extremely dedicated to getting breakfast or food of any kind. So Jammy Dodgers, very motivated. Timony, very motivated. However, Jammy is frequently trapped in the bedroom with me and is not vocal. Timony is typically out in, wherever, depending on where Brian has fallen asleep. If he fell asleep in his office, then Timony is usually just outside the bedroom door somewhere waiting. But yeah, what Timony will do is he'll start screaming at like 6:30 in the morning for breakfast, and then Brian will go downstairs to shut him up, but then he won't feed him. He'll just go downstairs and interact with him. And then Timony will fall asleep, having had, all his beans removed. Timony will fall asleep, and then Brian will end up sleeping in. And then it's like Jammy at 10 a.m. or whatever, or 9 a.m., whatever time she ends up waking me up, will start to like put whiskers on my face, which is very effective, but does take a while because I will, keep shoving her away and petting her, or like grabbing her and forcing her into a snuggle or something. But I won't like wake up right away. So yeah, it's a whole bad system that they've come up with. You recently set up a second temp sensor for your room, and you've finally been able to sleep without waking up at 4 a.m. and not being able to fall asleep until 7 a.m. when I have to wake up at 7:30. Eesh. Yeah, so here's the thing, Dame. They all have food. They have fucking kibble. They have kibble. But they want wet food. Their wet food they get twice a day. There's always kibble available. Although I will say, in Jammy's defense, if they are trapped in the bedroom and not just the upstairs, in the bedroom there isn't kibble. There's a litter box, but there isn't kibble in the bedroom. The kibble is on the landing outside the bedroom. So if Brian fell asleep in the office and stayed there, and the 2 younger cats came upstairs to hang out with him, then it is possible for Jammy and Budgie to be without food from, some time in the middle of the night, usually like 3 a.m. or something, 3 or 4 a.m., until whenever one of us gets up. So it's not like a crazy amount of time, but it is longer than she would like to have to wait. All right, there's those guys. I am not gonna do the mosquito or oh my god, I'm so tired. Midge. Okay, next one. Next one's going to be the green. Let me give you a cat moment while I get a drink of water. Yeah, Budgie doesn't harass me for food. She will eventually, but like Takes a long damn time. Generally speaking, Budgie won't harass me for food unless Jammy has failed for, you know, a solid half hour or more. Budgie will eventually say, all right, move over, kid. I'm taking over. Budgie will just straight up stand on me. She'll put, you know, that thing cats do where they somehow concentrate the mass of a tiny sun onto like the little itty bitty one paw that they put directly on your boob. She does that. She's really good at that. She's just like, here, have entirely too much mass for this tiny body to have produced. All right. This one, I probably should have actually done the green first for this, but whatevs. We can put the green over top. Okay. I'll put a second one behind and kind of like underneath a little bit, or actually I'm going to put mine above a little. Maybe I'll do a third one. I don't know. Do I want a third one or not? One, two, maybe just like a small one over here. Just starting to come up. Okay. Yeah, so the downstairs cats, the younger ones have just kibble bowls that are just kept always at least reasonably stocked. And the old ladies upstairs have a dispenser that goes off at regular intervals. So nobody is starving. They just want their food. They just like it. And Timony really wants someone to play with him. Okay. Now, get this like lighter green here. Gonna need to thin that a bit and mix some more. Uh-oh. Definitely need a little thinner. Oh boy. I wish I had a good solution for this brush retraction issue, because nail glue does not hold up to the acetone. There's probably some kind of glue that would. I might just need to do some research. All right, I need to mix a darker green. for the top areas. You hear the crickets? Yeah. It's because none of you are talking. It's crickets in here, y'all. I think that's got to be a free living cricket, an escaped cricket. Or 2 or 3. I haven't had a shipment super recently, so. All right. A little bit of the darker part underneath there. Oh, I hear Budgie. She's meowing. She has taken to lying right by a specific vent in the bedroom, and then basically meowing right into it, and then I can hear her at any of the other vents in the house, which is really good. Did you just make a horrible sound, Brian? I don't even know if he's in earshot. I just heard a horrible sound that sounded like a human trying to mimic a cat. So I don't know if he was like trying to mimic Budgie. But I think he must be either in the bedroom or downstairs. All right, I need more white. And I need more acetone. Thank you for the joke appreciation. I appreciate your appreciation. Also, hello, Lori. Okay. Need more white. Did I just make a horrible sound? No, I don't think so. Ow. Get a tiny bit of green in here. Just a itty bitty bit. Get a little of the reflection on top. And then oh, it was fun when I asked Brian, I see. Are you that far behind? Is chat that far behind? Maybe. Maybe chat's that far behind. There's always such a delay, but it varies. So it can be challenging for me to know how long the delay is at any given time. All right, I think I'm gonna need, there we go, a little bit of a darker color on part of the underside to get some of those little Ribby bits. After stream, I'm gonna have a bowl of cereal, and then I'm gonna crawl into bed with my Switch and probably fall asleep almost instantly playing Pokopia. That's my plan. Kind of really fucked up this one. This one mushroom is incorrect. I'm just deciding how much I care about how incorrect it is. I think I'm deciding that I don't care that much. I think we'll just leave it at that. It's good enough. All right, see you later, Ponks. Okay. Oh my goodness. Apparently my watch died. I forgot to put it on the charger. I didn't put it on my charger. What was the next one I'm gonna do? Okay, we've done that one. And we did this one. So let's do a moral on my index. So this one, I think we're gonna switch it up a little bit and move to Butter Me Up. Recommend avoiding the internet/news entirely on my way there. Is that because something has happened, or like specific, or is this just a general, hey, the internet sucks recommendation? I think for this one, I'm just going to do one moral. Right in the middle. And do I want to do... I think I'm going to start with the dark and then do the lighter parts over top. I mean, there's always something, Ray. But like... you know, there's degrees. There's degrees. Oh, yeah, no, we actually talked about that right at the beginning of stream. I was a little bit late for stream as a result of that because I was watching the video about it. The official announcement from her family. I hope that well, and I believe, based on the fact that she was no idiot, that she has set up her foundations to continue using her money for all of the extremely good things that she has always used her money for. All right, get a little bit of a darker brown in here. I've just absolutely put way too much black there, but we'll just use a tiny bit of it. Yeah, we fully started stream with that news, unfortunately. It was kind of a bummer to start that way. I almost considered doing something other than mushrooms, but I feel like I would want to take a little more time to think about what I wanted to do. So, I don't know, maybe we'll do that later. Another day. Okay, so we get the darker, and then I need a lighter. Okay, definitely going to need to loosen this up. Okay. So I'm doing sort of the slightly lighter one for my first pass, and then I'll pull out some areas with the lighter one, and hopefully between the two of them we'll get sort of a sense of the Morel texture without having to like painstakingly paint every single little cell. And I feel like so far it's, whoops, I just totally fucking hit my nail with the paintbrush. I was about to say so far it's working pretty well, and then I fucked it up. So that's good. Okay. Yeah, I think that's kind of doing the thing. We need a little bit more happening in this direction. Yeah. That's a little better. Okay, and then a remembrance mani would be great. Yeah, it would be nice to do something. I feel like I would want to give it time to sort of think about how I would best want to do that. And I was not prepared for that today, for obvious reasons. Okay. So we'll get some of these like brighter highlights here. Try not to overdo it. I'm at the stage where it gets real easy to like overwork stuff. So I'm gonna be real careful not to do that. Because right now I really am enjoying how it's looking. I just have to not fuck that up. Easier said than done. I think that's gonna be it. I think I want to stop it right there. Just gonna do a tiny little bit of editing on this edge. There we go. Made it a little too smooth over there. And then I need to give a little shadow down at the bottom in the stem area. Yeah, I like how the texture here is turned out. I think if I'd done any more at all, I would have ruined it. Not that you can see it right now, because apparently we're not focusing today. There we go. Can I please have some thinner here? Okay, and then one more nail. Which we are going to use. I've forgotten now which mushroom we have for that. I've got one picked out though, I just don't remember which one it is. There we go. Okay. And then last one. Oh yeah. The little creeper. The little fucking weirdo. All right. God, this one's so gross. I love it. I love how gross it is. So I feel like guava is definitely too intense. I'm not sure if white alone is going to be enough. I think I might want to add just the tiniest dab of brick, whatever it's called, brick wall. To take it out of like the aggressive range. Because it does feel like a... Oh, shit. Don't want to do it that way, though. Not like this. There we go. A little veiny bulbous thing, yeah. It is like a weird little brain. Alright, let's see how that mixes up. And then probably, well, never mind, probably. Definitely going to need to add some white to it. I think I can do it a little bit more. Be real careful not to overdo it, because that can get overpowering really fast. Did I overdo it? Well, maybe not. Maybe. Maybe slightly. I might have to go back just a little bit. Patchwork for the coat of many colors. There's like a hair in here. Little veiny bulbous thing, I should call him. That's horrifying. You're not wrong, though. You're not wrong. It doesn't actually look like that for the most part, but I do, every time I was like swapping around between the different screens, I kept getting a look at that itty bitty baby one in front at the bottom and being like, is that? No. Is it? No. I can't show that on stream. That's terrible. No, it's fine. It's just a baby mushroom. It's fine. All right. Now, do I want more than one? It is such a small nail. I feel like one might be safer. Let's just do one. We'll start with this. And I'm going to use a combination of white and butter me up for the stem. All right. Whoop. Yeah. Just a little bit off of white. Okay. And let's go ahead and grab some of this watered down brownish, blackish stuff for the shadow. Under here. And actually, let's bring a little of that over there for this part. Yeah, I think that should do the trick. All right. So that's going to be our little connection area. And then the underneath is going to actually be slightly darker, which I think I will accomplish by adding a touch of this. And seeing where that takes me. And maybe a little bit, actually I'm almost certainly going to need a bit of that. So let's do that and see where that gets me. Yeah, that seems pretty good. Maybe a touch more of that. Working with super thinned stuff right now, which is suboptimal in some ways, but I think as long as I'm careful, it'll be all right. I want to show a little bit of the underneath. And too dark. Too dark and too watery. And now I've got Too Late Baby in my head. Too late, baby, now it's too late. You know the one. Some of you know the one. Some of you might be too young. That's okay. You're allowed. All right. Get some of this lighter color for some ribbing underneath. You missed the name of these mushrooms. Weird dick brain mushrooms. I can't remember. What are these ones called? I think this was one of Ray's ideas. Ray did not come to play with the mushroom inspo today. Ray was like, oh, we're doing mushrooms? I got you. How about these fucking weirdos? All right. Mixa. Cat hair. I see a cat hair. There it goes. Actually, that might be a people hair. Is that a people hair? It looks long. Unless it just got dragged. No, that's a people hair for sure. That's a people hair. Or a very long cat hair. I don't know. Unclear. Speaking of very long cat hairs, do you want to hear something a little bit gross? You're gonna, whether you like it or not. And I'm not sorry. I've had for several days now, I've had just like this constant tickle in my nose. Just unceasing tickle. And like, I'm kind of used to that because I have a lot of cats, right? So there's kind of always like a little fucking cat fur stuck to my face. Whatever. It's annoying. I blow my nose. It's fine. But like the last few days, blowing my nose has not done shit. It has not been helping. It's just an unceasing tickle that makes me want to fucking murder somebody. And so last night I was like in the bathroom getting ready for bed. I blew my nose and I was like, there was a little hair. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, expecting it to just be like one of my own hairs, like one of my own nose hairs, just like grew a little too long at a weird angle. And maybe it was like, no, I got the tweezers and I went to yoink it out, but like it didn't yoink. It just kept, it slid and it just kept sliding out. And it was a fucking cat hair, like too long. It was a too long cat hair. That had somehow managed to embed itself like really far up my nose. Really upsettingly far up my nose. I did not enjoy it. I was not happy about it. I did look at Jamie accusingly because Jamie is the one that spends most of her time, like basically all night. She's like right up against my face. So I am confident it's her fault, but oh my God. Fucking cats, man. Why they gotta be nasty? You can't just go around sticking your hair up someone's nose, like all the way up it. Grody. What happens when you go through that fairy circle? Wouldn't you like to know? Wouldn't you like to know? It's how you get to all the fairy smut, of course. You've had dog hair stuck in the dry spot of your foot on multiple occasions? Definitely consumed lots of cat hair, yeah. Yeah, the cats are not allowed on the counter or the table. But the fact that Jammy is like sleeping literally right up next to my face is very much a thing that causes some problems, apparently. Okay. This freaking little weird dick brain mushroom is real nasty. I love it. All right, I'm afraid if I do anything more, it's just gonna wreck it. I think I'm pretty much there. Dog hair foot splinters. Yeah, I've also had human hair foot splinters back when I used to for a while there, I was cutting my ex's hair on a regular basis, and I used to get foot hair splinters all the time. So nasty. I hate them. They're so painful. Tell Jammy she can't pick her friend's nose. Yeah. You can pick your nose and you can pick your friends, but you can't pick your friend's nose. I guess it's supposed to be you can pick your friends and you can pick your nose, but you can't pick your friend's nose. I did it backwards. But that's okay. I forgive myself. And you should too. I think I'm done, y'all. Your white cat's hair is like a permanent addition to everything she rubs against. Yeah, I mean, we have 4 cats, and every cat fur color is represented between the 4 of them. So, yeah. Everything is always covered in cat fur, and you can always see it 100% of the time. Yeah, hair splinters really sting unnecessarily much. It's like it's more than it should be for how small they are. It doesn't seem right. All right. Doing our little seal glaze here. I think these definitely have to be done glossy. Never comes out of the clothes. Nope. Nope. The laundry doesn't get it out. Washing machine doesn't get it out. Nothing gets it out. Tape, nothing. Nothing gets it out. Doesn't happen. It's there forever. It becomes part of the clothing. All right, everything's clouded up now because of the seal glaze, but that shouldn't last long. I think these came out pretty cute. I'm going to have to figure out what the names of all of these are. It's embarrassing in public. My solution, bow and arrows, is not to go out in public. And if you do go out in public, only go to places where you don't give a fuck what they think. And also only have friends that don't give a fuck if you're covered in fur. What are you doing going places where people are going to judge you for having cat fur on you? Just don't do that. Add glow-in-the-dark spores? No. I'm already 3 hours in. I'm all done. I like them a lot too, Leo. Listen, it's a great idea, but I'm not doing it because I've been doing this for 3 hours. A 3-hour stream. A 3-hour stream. Peggy hates me. Listen, you just can't be making suggestions like that when I'm 3 hours deep in a stream on a day when I only had that many hours of sleep. It's true, though. I do hate you, Yaneli. You're too cute. And I hate that about you. Cute, sweet, nice. It's disgusting, really. Let me swap out. I'm going to give you a cat, and I'm going to swap out the lens so I can show you the... Oh, shush. You're fine. I'm going to show you the macro view. And then, come on. Get in there. Oh my God. Yeah, there we are. It shouldn't be that complicated, but you know, it always seems to be. Well, shit, she hates me, y'all. It's not your fault I took 3 hours to do these. Oh my God. Yaneli, you are not one to talk, young lady. I have seen you take forever to do incredibly beautiful manis. So maybe you should shut up. All right. There's the thumb. This is the pixie one, I think. The pixie parasol mushroom. On Be My Companion. You never complained, though. Well, I'm not complaining about having taken 3 hours. I'm complaining about people trying to make me take 4. All right. And then we have the Morel on the index nail, which is over the chroma is flowing. And then the inky cap mushroom on my middle nail. And then whatever the hell the name of that green one was. I don't remember. And then whatever these dick brain ones are. I really like these. They're really good. Let me see. Let me look at my history here. Can I look at my history? Recently closed tabs. Oh, geez. How come you only remember those ones? I don't remember what any of the other ones are. Parrot cap. Ah, yeah, parrot wax cap is the green one. They're cute or whatever. You're cute or whatever. Parrot wax cap, and then what's the dick brain one called, Ray? They're real nasty. I like them. I like how nasty they are. We need Ray to tell me what they're called. Ray is the holder of all knowledge. I really like them too, Pandemoniumarus. The extra R-us on the end of your name always trips me up. Rosy vein cap, of course. It's rosy and it's a vein cap. Of course it's called rosy vein cap. It's dick brain now, yeah. Definitely. All right, well, this has been fun. When is... Let me check my email and see when Monarch's thing launches. September 8th. So it certainly won't be this week. I think that means, yeah, so on the 3rd, I will do, that's the Thursday night live stream. I'll do swatch and review for Monarch's upcoming collection that releases on the 8th. And that means that I have this Thursday night for just whatever we feel like doing for nail art, and then also next Tuesday. So I'm thinking maybe Thursday night we'll do a Dolly themed mani. I think that would be nice. So if you have any specific ideas for a Dolly themed mani, do feel free to holler at me. Let me know what your ideas are, and I'll think about it as well, and we'll figure out something that is hopefully nice. I'm just gonna focus that up so it's looking at some colors. There we go. I think that's everything, y'all. So don't forget to like press the appropriate buttons. If you haven't already joined the Discord, there is a link in the description box. You can join the Discord and come holler at me whenever you have ideas or techniques that you want me to demonstrate or or try and figure out how to do. Or if you have specific nail art stuff, or if you want comparisons for anything, etc., etc. I understand that it's a joke on Toys R Us, Pandemonium R Us. It's just, it always trips me up because it's like, that's more letters than Pandemonium is supposed to have, but it definitely starts as Pandemonium and then it just keeps going and it's like, ah! Probably need some hollow glitter. Yeah, I absolutely agree, Ray. Yeah, so press the buttons, tell your friends about the hippopotamus, etc. And we'll see you next time. Okay, bye.